can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, Pakistan series loss to Bangladesh gets the meme factory going. But more than that, it highlighted the fractured brotherhood the two nations share. The very two countries who banded together to attempt a T20 World Cup boycott not too long ago. What were the flashpoints and why is Pakistan continuing to be a comedy series? Iran's women footballers seem to be making U-turns faster than the developments in West Asia. 5 of the athletes have now reversed their decisions and have agreed to go back home from Australia. What is happening behind the scenes and how much of Donald Trump's warnings have played a part in this dramatic change? And even as the Indian Cricket Board celebrated their sporting heroes, Hardik Pandya is caught in a small storm. The matter this time concerns his celebrations post the T20 World Cup win. So is it fair to pull him down, or is it just our society's modest outlook that makes someone as flamboyant as Hardik an easy target? But first, the headlines. We'll start with cricket. India captain Shubman Gill and women's vice-captain Smriti Mandhana were honoured with top individual titles at the BCCI Awards night. Gill and Mandhana were male and female cricketers of the year. For Gill, it was his second time, having won the first in 2023. But Mandhana had her fifth this time, with the first coming way back in 2018. On to Formula One, the Chinese Grand Prix proved to be a moment of firsts for two individual drivers. Mercedes continued their dominant run with a 1-2 finish. Kimi Antonelli finished first. George Russell came in second. Lewis Hamilton grabbed his first ever podium with Ferrari with a third place finish. In tennis, world number 2 Yannick Sinner won the Indian Wells Masters after beating Daniel Medvedev in straight sets. The Italian came down from love 4 in that second set tiebreaker to win his maiden Indian Wells title. This was also Sinner's first major win in 2026. With this, he completes his career Masters 1000 hardcore titles, making him the youngest to achieve this feat. Over in football, Manchester United are going from strength to strength in their bid for the Champions League. The Red Devils beat Aston Villa 3-1 after Casemiro broke the deadlock in the 53rd minute. Matheus Cunha and Benjamin Sesko dominated for United. With this, the English Giants now have a 3-point lead over fourth-placed Aston Villa. And the finalissima between Spain and Argentina has been cancelled. The finale that takes place between Euros winners and Copa America champions was called off due to tensions in West Asia. The match was set to take place in Qatar later this month. Attempts to reschedule the game failed because teams could not agree on alternative dates or venues. Pakistan and Bangladesh have renewed their cricketing rivalry. The two nations who walked hand in hand during the boycott threat at the 2026 World Cup. Yes, the two boards that publicly projected unity suddenly looked like bitter rivals during the ODI series recently. And under fire, Pakistan side, two controversial dismissals, a heated exchange between players who were once labelled brothers. A wave of criticism from fans and experts have followed, and suddenly Pakistan cricket once again looked like a comedy serial. But who is actually responsible for this bizarre situation that Pakistan cricket finds itself in? Because while the easy answer is to pin it on the players or the team management, the truth is far more complicated. The 2026 edition of the T20 World Cup gave the cricketing world 3 major lessons. 1. India's cricket system is operating at a completely different level when it comes to bench strength, structure and long-term planning. 2. Pakistan cricket is in the middle of a deep transition and the instability is becoming increasingly visible for us all. And 3. The so-called brotherhood between Pakistan and Bangladesh was never really about cricket. It was political convenience, because when Bangladesh initially refused to play their matches in India during the World Cup, Pakistan was quick to jump into the debate. On paper, Pakistan's cricket board stood shoulder to shoulder with their Bangladesh counterpart, but very quickly reality was there for all to see. Pakistan was trying to use the situation to push through its own demands, and the recently concluded ODI series between these two countries only proved it. The first flashpoint came during the second ODI, the second match. Pakistan's Salman Ali Agha was involved in a dramatic run-out incident with Bangladesh captain Mehdi Hassan Miraz. It happened during the 39th over. Miraz collided with Agha while trying to collect the ball. Agha assumed the ball was dead. He casually walked forward to pick it up, but Miraz spotted an opportunity there and he threw the ball to the stumps. Pakistan's T20 captain was furious. The reaction was immediate. Now, if you go by the rules of cricket, Miraz did absolutely nothing wrong. It was perfectly legal.
First of all, no one came here to play a charity league. This is an international match. Since the dismissal is within the rules, I don't see from any angle that sportsmanship was compromised.
And he has a point. Respect your opponent, yes, but when the opportunity to win appears, you take it. The controversy didn't end there. During the third ODI, Pakistan found itself once again protesting. This time it was about Bangladesh's use of the DRS system. Pakistan alleged that the review was taken after watching the replay on the big screen on the penultimate ball of the match. The PCB even lodged a formal complaint. It was difficult to win from there for Pakistan, yet here they were protesting. So suddenly the series turned into a storm of accusations, which again raises the question, where did the so-called brotherhood suddenly disappear to? Because while this is how cricket should be played, on the field there are only competitors, you have to acknowledge there is no love lost between these two sporting teams. The spirit of cricket, that left the stadium long ago. So what's hurting Pakistan cricket? It's what's going on outside the field. Instead of analysing the cricket, instead of understanding that Pakistan is still rebuilding its team, the criticism turned into mockery. Yes, the Pakistan Police Department there mocking an international cricketer, and it didn't stop here. Former players, television pundits, social media critics, everyone joined the pile-on. When Pakistan lost the series, the entire team was labelled a joke. But here's the irony. The very people calling Pakistan cricket a circus are the ones helping it turn into one. Because this team is clearly in transition. Several young players are being tested, new combinations are constantly being tried, and transitions are never really smooth. They require patience, they require solid backing, and they require a sense of stability. Instead, what Pakistan cricket is receiving right now is constant chaos. These are the same critics who supported Pakistan's political posturing during the World Cup controversy. They backed the dramatic statements, they backed the boycott narrative. But when reality changed, when Pakistan eventually played the tournament, suddenly no one wanted to talk about that. That is the real circus. So what did the Pakistan versus Bangladesh series really show us? It showed that international cricket is ruthless. Friendships and political statements disappear the moment the match begins or you step onto the field. It showed that Pakistan is still searching for stability. But more importantly, it exposed a bigger issue. Pakistan cricket doesn't just have a performance problem, it has an environment problem. Because when players are mocked by institutions, when every defeat turns into a national meltdown, then no team can really grow. And until that mindset changes, Pakistan cricket will keep looking like a bit of a circus. Not because of the players on the field, but because of the noise that's surrounding them. The captain of Iran's women's football team has now left Australia, making it 5 players now pulling out of their asylum claims. What started as a dramatic story of athletes seeking freedom has now taken a very different turn. 7 members of Iran's football contingent had been granted asylum initially by Australia after the Asian Cup, but one by one, 5 now have made U-turns. These decisions come amid intense speculations, allegations of pressure from Iran, and even an unexpected intervention from the United States. So what exactly happened behind the scenes? Why did players who initially wanted to stay back suddenly change their minds? Our next report brings you the complete story.
The captain of Iran's women's football team, Zahra Ghanbari, has now left Australia. Ghanbari had initially applied for asylum, along with several members of her team during the AFC Women's Asian Cup. Australia had granted asylum to 7 members of the Iranian football delegation. At the time, it appeared that a remarkable moment was unfolding. But within days, the situation began to change. One by one, players started reversing their decision. First, 3 members of the delegation decided to withdraw their asylum requests. Now, the number has grown. Ghanbari, the skipper, has become the 5th of the group to walk away from the asylum offer and leave Australia.
While the Australian government can ensure that opportunities are provided and communicated, we cannot remove the context in which the players are making these incredibly difficult decisions.
Burke said the players were repeatedly given opportunities to discuss their choices. Officials held several conversations with the players, making sure they fully understood their options. But ultimately, the players themselves informed authorities that they wanted to withdraw their claims and leave. A choice that has now sparked intense speculation about what might have influenced them. Back in Iran, state media has wasted no time in celebrating this development. They described the players' return as proof of loyalty to the country. For Tehran's leadership, the narrative is clear. The regime wants to show that its athletes rejected the chance to stay abroad. But critics say reality may be far more complicated. Human rights activists believe the players may have been under enormous pressure. Former Iranian national futsal player and activist Shiva Amini says she suspects the involvement of Iran's powerful security apparatus.
The Iranian regime put you in this situation. You have to say goodbye to everything that you have in Iran. I can totally understand what those footballers are going through because I've been in their shoes.
Amini believes authorities may have pressured the players by targeting their families back home. Members of the Iranian-Australian diaspora say they have heard similar reports. And it isn't just that. They feel the intervention of U.S. President Donald Trump made it a geopolitical issue more than a personal choice. Last week, Trump publicly urged Australia to accept the Iranian players, pressing Canberra through social media. And that spotlight may have intensified the risks they faced. Because in situations like this, athletes are rarely just athletes. They become symbols. Symbols in the battle between governments, politics, and ideology. And sometimes, that pressure can be overwhelming. So where does this story stand now? Whether their teammates returned by choice or under pressure may never be fully known. Out of the 7 members of Iran's football delegation who initially sought asylum, most have now withdrawn their claims and left Australia. Only 2 remain. And eyes and ears will stay on these 2 athletes in the days to come.
The BCCI held an awards night to celebrate Indian cricket. Basically, all those posters and pictures that many social media handles that decode cricket were circulating of India having the best year all through with their male and female cricket sides winning ICC titles. That translated into an awards night with top stars coming down to the Indian capital city of Delhi to pick up awards. In the backdrop of all of this, of course, one matter has sparked conversations. It involves India star all-rounder Hardik Pandya. A complaint was filed last week stating Pandya was disrespecting the Indian national flag during the T20 World Cup celebrations. Now, while I do not wish to throw the spotlight on the complainant, so there is going to be no mention of who that person is, because the focus of this story is not him. This has surely opened up interesting layers of observation for us as a society and a sports-loving country. So let me get straight to the story. The Indian men's cricket team created history. They did not just become the first side to defend a T20 title, they also became the only one to be able to win a title at home. Now, these are clearly incredible achievements, especially when so many have failed trying to do this for decades now. So understandably, everyone was overjoyed. The environment was electrifying. The players, the support staff, they were all ecstatic. That's why every member of the cricket team had their families come onto the ground and celebrate this moment with them. It was one of pride and one that deserved to be a shared celebration. It's a collective effort, that's what it is. It takes a village to raise champions. So this was a win for everyone associated with the Indian cricket team. Hardik Pandya, who has been an integral part of this winning squad and one who contributed to this title-winning journey just like he did back in 2024 when they lifted the title then, was there with his partner. He had the Indian national flag draped across his shoulders. He was posing with the trophy, dancing with it, making merry. It was there for all to see. Now, was that celebration over the top? Probably. Was he hogging the limelight a bit too much and even hogging the trophy a tad bit more? Maybe. You wouldn't be entirely wrong in perceiving Hardik Pandya's celebrations as a bit too much, especially when the other cricketers, the rest of the squad, were doing their best to rein it in and make this moment a shareable one. You wouldn't be wrong in feeling a little peeved at his sense of exuberance on the field. Winning alone doesn't bring you laurel and praise. How you carry yourself and the humility you show in victories especially, that defines greatness. But truth is also this. We here, me sitting in the studio and you in your homes, will never really know what it takes to win a Cricket World Cup title, let alone any other. The sacrifices, the sweat, the toil, the blood, the grime, all that goes into one historic moment. We will just not know the real depth of it all. Then, of course, there is the morality angle of it all, that we as a society very easily slap on to celebrities, those in the public eye. Sportspersons, of course, are no different. There's this invisible cloak of shame and humility that every celebrity, even a sporting hero, should naturally wear. That Hardik Pandya cannot be seen enjoying a bit too much. How dare he do that? And that too with his girlfriend. And somehow that is not the same as a wife or a husband. That the fact that it's his girlfriend automatically diminishes his right to celebrate with her and do that openly. As a society, we are just not used to seeing someone living their life a little outside the borders that have been set already. And that irks us, because everything needs to fit in a square, and those who don't are automatically misfits and outcasts. And Hardik Pandya has always been the outlier in the way he carries himself and tends to be in the middle of a storm more often than not. It's a left field comparison here, but take that Aussie breakdancer who was a rage at the Paris Olympics, Reagan. Social media had a field day playing judge and jury on her performance, one that is anyway meant to be an artistic form of expression. Her kangaroo act was ridiculed because it just didn't fit the bill. I won't go into other narratives, of course, but this is what it comes down to, doesn't it? We need to ask ourselves this: are we less accepting of the anomaly? Do we dislike what naturally sticks out or stands out? What do you think about this? And let me know in the comments below. Time for Last Serve. We take you now to South Africa's stunning Mirendal wine estate, where one of the toughest endurance races in the world is currently underway, an 8-day mountain biking spectacle. Often dubbed the Tour de France of mountain biking, the Cape Epic has officially begun. Riders from across the globe are now gearing up for days of punishing climbs, technical trails and relentless competition, all set against some very breathtaking landscapes. And if the opening stage was any indication, we're in for an absolutely electrifying week of racing. Take a look. That wraps it up here on Firstpost. I'll of course see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.